You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Decisions.
Wait a minute. Are you still looking for cars on Carvana?
Yeah, decisions.
When I used Carvana, I found the exact car I was looking for in minutes. Bought it on the spot.
Electric or full diesel? Decisions.
Come on, you've been at it for weeks. Just buy it already.
You're right. Crossover it is. Decisions decided.
Whether you know exactly what you want or like to take your time, buy your car the convenient way with Carvana.
God bless football, Billy Gill.
God bless football, Stugotz.
Thank you. A special Wednesday edition of God bless football. This is big. It must mean a big guest is coming through.
Is that what it means?
I don't know. I mean,
well, you do know.
It's that or breaking news. I do know. You're right. Yeah, of course I know.
We're coming off of Monday Night Football. The rare could have been in first place. Now you're in third place kind of game.
Yeah, but I feel like I'm in second place.
Ooh.
Because they got Devontae Adams.
All right.
Yeah, we're back. I mean, you don't feel like that?
I don't know.
All right. What do you make quickly before we get to our big guest? And I'm going to ruin it right now. It's Spags.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spags rolled through the studios here at Meadowlark Media. He was a delight. Do you now believe that I have an actual friendship with Spags, or are you still questioning it?
No, I'm not questioning it.
Okay.
It was a delight to have Spags in studio. We don't have many in-studio guests on this show.
No.
He was a delight. We had him on. Everyone loved him in the office.
Yes.
Taylor threw out his credentials at him at one point. He said, I used to play football at North Carolina, not to brag. To which Spags just kind of looked at him and was like, what's wrong with you? Fun little day when Spags came to the office.
When you say he looked at him and said, what's the matter with you? He looked at him and saw that he was 5'8". There's no way he played football.
Well, okay, here's the thing.
Right.
Headed into that, we had a nice little game going on where we were asking Taylor, hey, if you were offered a quality control job in the NFL, would you quit this job for that job?
Mm-hmm.
And we thought the obvious answer was yes. And then he had a ton of conditions, depending on the team, depending on the head coach, where he wasn't going to just take that job. And then because, I'm a dog, I went and I told Spags the exact situation. I was like, can you believe this guy? If someone offered him a quality control job in the NFL, he wouldn't just take it. And he's like, you got to get your foot in the door.
Right. No matter what you have to do, where you have to travel, what the job is, if you want something bad enough, you have to get your foot in the door.
This was very specific to quality control coaching job for the NFL. He said he would not take the job at the Carolina Panthers. He also said he wouldn't take the job in Jacksonville. In case anyone was wondering.
Taylor was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Spags is saying, no, if you want it badly enough,
correct,
you will take the job in Carolina. You will take the job in Jacksonville.
Correct.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yep, that's classic Spags.
Classic Spags. I mean, that's why he's the best defensive coordinator in the NFL.
Quickly, before we get to Spags, are you surprised that the Steelers, who are coming off a victory here, reports are that Justin Fields is going to be benched. Russell Wilson is back, trying to play his way back into the Hall of Fame, Billy.
I'm not surprised. I don't think Justin Fields has looked great the past couple of weeks.
There's more upside with Russell Wilson.
I think there's more of a, what do we got to lose here?
Yeah.
We got two quarterbacks. This one's okay. Let's see what we got with the other one.
I think you have to give Russell Wilson, you have to give him a try.
Yeah.
See, because the Steelers, I think they're 4-2 now, but the Steelers, there is an upside to Russell Wilson that you simply don't have with Justin Fields. Justin Fields, he's been around long enough. You know exactly what he is. Russell Wilson, you still have questions as to whether or not he can return to the Super Bowl winning championship quarterback that he once was.
Well, he also won the job coming out of camp. He was named the starter, and then because of an injury, he didn't start. So,
yes.
I mean, he won the job. They had made the decision previously. He's going to be our starter, and Justin Fields did not do enough, apparently, to keep the job now that Russell's healthy again.
Right, winning 4 out of 6 is not enough.
Yeah, well.
Not for Tomlin. He wants to win all 6.
I mean, has he looked great to you?
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
No, I would go Russell Wilson.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
All
but
right.
I love Russell Wilson, like just following kind of the career line, like his career path here. First 3 years, 4 years, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Last few years, played his way out of the Hall of Fame. And now Mike Tomlin on one of the, biggest brands in the NFL, one of the biggest brands in all of sports, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tomlin is giving him an opportunity to play his way back into the Hall of Fame and perhaps be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Wow.
How about that?
What would he have? Oh,
One more Super Bowl.
hold on. We have to get to Spags, but before we do, now you have me
I
curious.
piqued your curiosity.
You have.
Yes.
What would he have to do in Pittsburgh to now make his way not only back into the Hall of Fame, as you put it, but a first ballot Hall of Famer?
So if he wins one Super Bowl with the Steelers, he gets back into the Hall of Fame. If he wins two, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. How about that?
So he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
He is not a first ballot. Not now. You think Russell Wilson's a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, I'm saying he will never be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not winning 2 Super Bowls in Pittsburgh.
You never know.
I know.
Do you?
Yeah.
What if he wins one? First ballot or just Hall of Fame?
2 Super Bowls is twice as much as one.
It's Eli Manning, though. And we've had a lot of people say Eli's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Some people have said he's not a Hall of Famer at all. I'm trying to remember who said that, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was Fuentes.
I think Sims said it too. Right?
Yeah, Sims. No, Sims said not a first ballot guy. It was Fuentes who said, it was. It was Fuentes.
All right.
It was not.
It was somebody, though. All right, let's get to Spags. He smelled very good. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
Really?
No.
That's because he was sitting next to me, and I kind of counter.
You just got a little sniff?
He smelled good.
That's weird.
Yes. I mean, he did. You didn't notice it?
No.
He had cologne on.
I think maybe I was stuffed up.
Well, and of course, I was in the room, and I smell bad.
Well, Let's get to Spags.
Welcome to the Offensive Line. You guys, on this podcast, we're going to make some picks, talk some and hopefully make you some money in the process. I'm your host, Annie Hagar. So here's how this show's going to work, okay? We're going to run through the weekly slate of NFL and college football matchups, breaking them down into very serious categories like no offense. No offense, Travis Kelce, but you got to step up your game if Pat Mahomes is saying the Chiefs need to have more fun this year. We're also handing out a series of awards and making picks for the top storylines surrounding the world of football. Awards like the He May Have a Point award for the wide receiver that's most justifiably bitter. Is it Brandon Ayuk, T. Higgins, or Devontae Adams? Plus, on Thursdays, we're doing an exclusive bonus episode on Wondery Plus, where I share my fantasy football picks ahead of Thursday Night Football and the weekend's matchups. Your fantasy league is as good as locked in. Follow the Offensive Line on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can access bonus episodes and listen ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Smirnoff knows there's no I in football. Football's a we thing, an experience that's best enjoyed together with good drinks and good folks. Smirnoff's the world's #1 vodka and is an official vodka partner of the NFL. And this year, Smirnoff's giving fans in select areas of the country a chance to win the ultimate game day experience. From tickets to sideline passes and much more. Just head to WeDoGameDays.com until November 15th, 2024 to enter for your chance to win. That's WeDoGameDays.com. Smirnoff. We do game days.
Please drink responsibly. Smirnoff number 21 vodka. Distilled from grain. 40% alcohol by volume. The Smirnoff Company, New York, New York. Please do not share with anyone under legal drinking age. No purchase necessary. 21 plus. Ends November 15, 2024. See rules at website for participating area and other important details. Sponsored by Diageo Americas Inc., New York, New York.
Billy, this is very exciting. Spags. Spags is here, 4-time Super Bowl champion. He is in town. He has strolled into town 5-0 on a bye week. The Kansas City Chiefs. Spags, I've been saying on the show, and Billy's been laughing at me, that you should be the MVP of the NFL.
I don't know about that.
A lot of people are saying
that's
Spags.
going a little too far. It's called really good players and good assistant coaches. That's what that is.
It's not what the buzz is about in the league. I don't know how much media you consume, Spags, but everybody's saying the defense is carrying the Chiefs this season.
Yeah.
I tell you, look at it. It's a nice compliment, and I think it's good for our guys to hear that defensively. But when you got Patrick Mahomes, you're never out of a game. and let's face it. I mean, these games are all tight.
Yes.
I mean, the ones we're in tight. It seems like every week, every game is tight, and our guys have so much confidence in him.
Right.
I think it helps us play a lot better. So it all begins with Patrick and the offense, and they keep it rolling. And our guys like being a part of what they do, keep us in the games and keep swinging away.
He's being humble, Billy.
He definitely is being humble here.
He is. What makes Patrick different? Like, you've been around football your entire life, so you've been around quarterbacks your entire life. What makes this one different?
Well, I'm one that values football intelligence greatly, and Pat is off the charts smart.
Yeah.
And he's also a lead, like he gets it. He can relate to every player on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't make it about him. I mean, he loves to win. He knows it's a team that wins and not just one position. I love being around him. I mean, I'll walk into the quarterback meeting room, and if I'm thinking about putting something in or doing something defensively, sometimes I'll run it by Pat and say, "What do you think? Will this do anything?" Or I'll go to him when we're in practice. We're in training camp.
What a barometer, by the way.
Yeah, Pat, what are you seeing that we're giving away? And he's terrific. He's great.
Wow. He could be a defensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah, someday he will be.
What do you mean someday he will be?
He'll do whatever he wants.
I don't think he's going to want to be a defensive coordinator. I think he's going to be fine when he retires.
I think Spags is doing just fine as a DC.
Yeah.
You know?
I take all the help I can get, man. I use any resource possible.
The defense has been fantastic. Chris Jones is such an amazing. I've never seen maybe Reggie White. Is that a fair comparison?
Yeah, listen, Reggie was big time, but Chris, listen, he changes things for us defensively. Like people have to do things differently when he's on the field, and then we can counteract with that, which is kind of a good thing. And he faces a lot of double teams. We go through that every game.
Right.
People slide into him and take him away, but he finds a way to make a big play at the right moment, and you need that in this league. Like I say, these games are all tight. Our games are always tight, and having him at the end of the game is helpful.
When is the perfect time? You were very happy when we were exchanging texts last week that you had arrived at the bye week because you get some time with the wife and get some time to come down here. What is the perfect time for a bye week?
I don't know if there's a perfect time. I mean, it's always good.
5-0 feels like a good time.
Coming off of any win is a good week.
Yeah.
I tell you, it was kind of unique this year that we had the bye week coming off of Monday night, which is kind of good because when you play on a Monday night, it's a tight squeeze to play on Sunday again. So that was good, and it's always good to win. But listen, ideally, you say right in the middle of the season. But the way I look at it is, I mean, we went to training camp like July 16th, so this might be halfway between whatever stretch we're going to have. So we just got to get refreshed and get ready to roll, and then it'll be a 12-week grind, and hopefully longer. Me
and Billy went to the season opener at Kansas City. Yeah. My first time there, Billy's first time there. We had
some barbecue.
We did. We had barbecue.
Oh, yeah.
Spags, they love football more than we do. The fans of the Kansas City Chiefs love football in a way that Miami will never love football.
It's a passion. The fan base is it's terrific. I mean, they love their Chiefs. I mean, win, lose, or draw. That's what you learn there, which is different than a lot of places.
Mm-hmm.
And that in Arrowhead, it's rocking on game day.
How do you coach against, I guess, complacency, right? Like you're going for a three-peat. Obviously, that's a motivating factor. There's never been a three-peat in the NFL, but it's easy to kind of get complacent, I guess, right? When you've been successful for so long, right? Mm-hmm. And then we see last year, you guys earlier in the season, people were saying, "Hey, something might be a little bit off in Kansas City," right? And then you go on a run in the playoffs.
That was me, by the way. That was the one who said it.
No, you end up winning the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So how do you coach against just, I guess, guys getting bored with the success, if that's even a thing?
Yeah. Listen, in anything, and this is quite a challenge. We don't even talk about 3P. We're game to game. I mean, that's just how you have to do it. But
no one has ever uttered those words.
It's
after
not
the Super Bowl, you guys are screaming 3P. So
I think they're smart enough not to
in the moment.
Yeah. Right. But it all begins at the top. Like, listen, Andy is a rock. Win, lose, or draw, up, down, doing well, not doing well, winning Super Bowls, not winning Super Bowls. He's so steady and so consistent. And I think everybody feeds off of that, beginning with the quarterback and all the coaches, because Patrick gets it. And I think our guys have we got enough veteran leadership, mixed in with a bunch of young guys that I think that they understand it. And it is a 1 week at a time business. I mean, you're only as good as your last game.
Right.
Fortunately for us in our bye week, it had to be a win. But I think we stay steady. That Andy is all about process. He doesn't change much. Things stay consistent, whether we're up or whether we're down. And I think that resonates throughout the team. I think that's the key in my opinion.
Billy, that week-to-week thing is real. I was texting him after week 3 saying you're the MVP, and he's like, "Hey, we're just 3-0." Like,
we got a long way to go.
He barked back at me, Spags. He got very mad at me.
Trust me, I've been in it long enough to know.
Spags, we have a guy here named Taylor who you met just before we were recording.
The Carolina kid,
Yeah, and he has gone around the office quite often and just uttered to himself, No one draws up a blitz like Spags. Just we'll say no. We're talking about anything else. Like, no one draws up a blitz.
I didn't teach Taylor well enough because what I say is no one dials up a blitz.
Yeah,
better than Spags. No one does.
So how do you know? I guess for the fans of yours like Taylor, how do you know the perfect time to dial up the blitz?
I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows it. Listen,
it's just by feel, right?
Well,
Spags?
the perfect blitz is when the guys that you call it into execute it the right way.
Right.
I mean, listen, there are a number of times when we call them and it doesn't come out exactly like we want, or they pick it up. The ones are nice when they come through in our ideal time. That's good. I tell you what, I give our guys a lot of credit. We spend a lot of time with these. Nowadays, football's become a lot of walkthroughs.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't do real football during the week anymore.
You hate that, don't you?
I do.
I know.
But
you're old school. It's okay, Spags.
Yeah, that's all right. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Right.
But our guys do a really good job in staying into tune to when we do these walkthroughs, and I think that carries into the game. And a lot of times when we put something together, it's going to require that our guys execute it the right way.
Sure.
And our guys to a T do that. So it's I credit those guys on that.
Did you ever think you'd be here when you were coaching the Barcelona Dragons?
Like here in our studio? Or?
Yeah, right here in the studio.
Billy, what a great memory to bring back. I tell you what, that NFL Europe was one of the more fun experience I had as a coach. So I was in Barcelona for the 1 year in
right.
92, I think, years of running together. And then 98, I went back to NFL Europe with the Frankfurt Galaxy. And that was a great experience. I thought the players when in that league, they were all playing for something. They were all either probably cut by an NFL team. And so they had this apple and nugget they wanted. So you had an eager group all the time.
Sure.
In every meeting, in every game, they were willing to work. And that was really neat to work with. I was coming, when I went there in 92, I think I was coming out of college. And, college you were dealing with players that were going to school, and you had to work around academic schedules. Anyway, I went in NFL Europe, and these guys are eager to play, and it was all football. I mean, I just loved it. Right. That was great.
Do they like the NFL in Europe? Because we see now we're in the midst of the European section of the NFL season, right, where they have all the games abroad, and you coach there. But when you watch it, you're kind of like, well, these are just fans of the teams that want to go to Europe, so they're going to root on their teams in Europe because they get a European vacation out of it, right? Did you sense when you were there that there was a yearning for NFL football?
We did. I mean, our players did. Our players were talking about it because they were out and about a little bit. But I do think the European fans, especially in Germany, for whatever reason, it was explained to me at one time that because we had USA bases in Germany for a long time, and then there was some football that was developed at lower levels, that it became a little bit more popular there, and that's probably true. But in the experiences that I've had in the international games, I think the fans have been terrific. And I'd have to check, but I think most of them are European fans that go into the game.
You guys played in Frankfurt last week.
We did.
Dolphins.
Yeah. I had to explain to...
it's a homecoming for Spags.
Yeah, I was in that same stadium. But I had to explain to the players when we played in that game a year ago that when you hear whistling, right, that doesn't mean that they're happy. That means that's bad. Like you boo here.
Wow,
so we had to educate them.
Right.
I told them.
So wait, they whistle when they're upset. They whistle. Some of them do.
This is what I remember. When I think it might be a soccer thing, but I was back there in '92 and '98. I remember somebody saying to me, "Now, Steve, when the fans start whistling, don't think they'll like what you're doing. That means they're upset." So that was my little mini education about European fans.
When did you know you wanted to be a football coach? When did you realize that?
Yeah, and I know it was back in the 8th grade. I had a friend of mine that went to a basketball camp at Springfield College.
Yes,
in
of
Western
course.
Mass.
Yep.
Was a big phys ed school.
Right.
It was like one of the number one phys ed schools in the country at the time. And he had come back ranting and raving about this.
Billy's
school.
laughing that there was a big phys ed school.
I was just laughing. Our school's great at PE.
Yeah. Well, at that time,
exactly what you brag about.
It was big, but it was big then. This is back in
yes.
mid 70s.
He's a youngster, Spags.
Yeah, he didn't understand that was a big thing. But he came back.
Gym was a big thing. Phys ed was a big thing.
That's right.
Yes.
That was you. If you were going to go be a phys ed teacher, that was a big thing.
Yes.
So anyway, he kind of lit it up in my mind. I said, yeah, I want to do that. And then I just had this vision of going to Springfield College, becoming a phys ed teacher, coming back and teaching at my high school and doing what because my high school coach I loved, and I wanted to do that. And along the way, when I got
failed.
There, no, I failed at that.
Yeah, you failed. Like Greg Popovich.
I didn't make it back to Grafton High School.
You had too much success.
Pop tells a story that he always dreamed of being a Division III basketball coach. We're like, okay, Greg Popovich,
Right,
you're an NBA champion.
Go do it then.
Exactly right.
There is something. I'm guessing though. There is something cathartic. Like the thought of Spags going back to coach at a high school level probably gets him excited, right? Like there's no pressure. You just go coach.
Go coach.
Yes.
Kids are eager. It's fun. I always thought that the best way to test your teaching skills was to go coach 12-year-olds because what you say is exactly what they hear. And if you're not explaining it exactly the way you want it done, it doesn't come out right. And every summer when I was coaching in college, I'd go work these camps up in Connecticut. And I'd always work. You could work with the high school kids or you could work with the young ones. I always worked with the young ones because I thought it challenged me to say things exactly the way I meant them. Like when you're dealing with these pro players, you only got to say half of it. They understand what you're trying to say. Right. But when you're talking to young kids,
so it tests your communication skills.
Yeah, it does.
Yes.
It really does.
That's interesting. What do you think you'd be doing? Would you still be a gym teacher if you weren't coaching? If you weren't the D coordinator for the Chiefs?
I'm going to tell you what. I'm looking at it in your studio here. And I'm looking at that hockey. You got some hockey highlights on there.
Yeah.
I loved hockey. I was a huge Bobby Orr fan growing up in.
You're in Hockey Town now, Spags.
I know. I loved the Boston Bruins growing up. Big Bag Bruins back in the early '70s, and I would have loved to have coached hockey. Here's the thing about coaching hockey. This is the way I felt. Like when I'm coaching these guys, the only thing I can really do, and my shoulder's gone now, is throw ball drills, right? To be involved in the game. When you're a hockey coach, you can go out there and skate with them.
Yep.
You can pass. You can shoot on the goalie. Like you could be a kid forever.
Yes.
And so I always thought coaching hockey would be pretty cool.
That'd be more fun because you play hockey every day.
Yeah, exactly. I think you'd be playing. You'd be like one of the players. The whole time.
So as a fan of you're from the Boston area. Yeah. So as a fan, I'm assuming of all the Boston teams, is it driving you crazy to watch the Yankees going into the ALCS right now?
Actually, being in New York for a couple of years, listen. I'm an odd Boston Red Sox fan because if the Red Sox are not in, I do root for the Yankees. I like the Yankees. Well,
Spags, be careful.
I know, but that's all right. Listen, they're in it now, and I love watching them play. Listen, I wasn't happy that they beat the Royals. I was really pulling for the Royals. That's a great group over there. Matt, the manager, is terrific. And we were really for the city. Mm-hmm. It was great for the city to have those games there. I would have liked for that to continue. But listen, I appreciate good baseball and playoff baseball, and the Yankees are playing really good now. So I'll continue to watch it just because I enjoy the game.
I could see Spags as a hockey coach. Actually.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
I'm sorry.
Hanging on the boards.
Hockey coach.
Wait, so you hate the Panthers, right, Spags? You have to.
I'm not a hater of anybody. They did just beat the Bruins the other day, didn't they?
I know, yeah. And the whole playoff thing last year.
That's right. That was a tough one.
I think this Connor McDavid.
Yeah,
from the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah,
we think that he's over. They're basically saying he's like the Michael Jordan of hockey.
Well, Spags
I
is
remember
going to
him
agree
in the
with that.
playoffs last year.
Yeah, he stands out.
Because he was playing down. Did they play? They played here, right?
Yeah.
Because I have a nephew that's a big Panthers fan, but I was in awe of the way that guy played.
Yeah,
he's terrific.
Were you excited when Tatum finally got his championship?
I was excited for the Celtics.
Don't tell me you like the Knicks too. You can't do that, Spags.
I don't. I really didn't get. When I was in New York, I didn't get to too many Knicks games. Maybe one, but I grew up a Celtics fan, so it was, Dave Cowens, Larry Bird, all of them. I thought it was good to see them win that.
I've always wondered if there's a player, an offensive player, or an offensive coordinator that keeps someone like you up at night. Like if you have a game against them the next day, whether it be Joe Burrow or some coordinator, is there a guy that Joe Burrow's a guy
that's one
you're not sleeping the night before?
No, listen, these quarterbacks, there's a bunch of quarterbacks nowadays. I always feel like the talented, cerebral quarterbacks are the tough ones. The guys that'll change things in an instant at the line.
Sure.
Are the guys that are scariest, and Joe's obviously one of them. Our guy we go against every day is at the top of the heap there. But the challenge of going, the game within the game of Mike linebacker, through the defensive coordinator and the quarterback through the offensive coordinator is a neat game to be involved with, play in and play out, and I enjoy that part of it. So when we're facing a team that has a real cerebral quarterback, to me that's the biggest challenge, but it does keep you up at night because you know that they can get you. These guys that work the cadence and change the calls and get you to show what you're doing and then get into something good, they're tough.
Which do you think would be an easier transition to make? And this might be a dumb question, but you said Patrick would be a great defensive coordinator because he's so great at reading defenses. Yeah. How do you think you'd do as an offensive coordinator?
I started out on offense.
Wait, is Patrick his quarterback?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
It all depends on who the quarterback is.
Okay, how about this? How about this situation? Patrick becomes a defensive coordinator, and you have to scheme the offense against Patrick.
His defense?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to do that against him. He's too sharp. But listen, I started out in this game on offense. I was a high school quarterback, and then I was a college wide receiver, and I coached 3 years on offense. And I forget what year it was, like in 83 or 84. I was at Lafayette College in Pennsylvania.
Of course.
Great head coach, Bill Russo. We had lost our D-line coach, and he said, I'd like you to go over and coach the D-line. And I was fired up. I got to coach these big guys. It was great. For 3 years, I had this young group of defensive linemen at Lafayette College, and then from there, I just stayed on defense for the rest of the time. And I guess it was a pretty good move.
Were you?
Although coaching those quarterbacks gets
it worked
pretty
out for
cool
you.
too.
Yeah,
if you get the right one.
Everything's worked out well for you.
I guess, yeah.
I think. I know you had a stint as a head coach, and I think we discussed this the first time we had you on. That is something, I'm not trying to create any sort of rift here. I know you love Andy and you love your job. And in fact, I told you I would stay in that job for the remainder of time because you have that quarterback.
Yeah.
But is head coaching something you would like to try again?
Listen, I get asked this question a lot. Sure, have to be the right situation because I'm in a great situation.
Yes,
I think in this profession, young coaches in this profession, they jump at the first thing. I certainly did that when I had my first chance, and I think the next time you kind of, if you're sitting in a really good situation, you consider it a little bit differently. But listen, that eagerness is there. And we'll see what happens.
Well, you also are in a situation where maybe if you sit long enough, then this situation becomes available,
Yeah, I like working for Andy. He's a good man.
So we have Andy leaving this quarterback. I don't think Andy's leaving this quarterback.
No, right. If you were Andy, would you?
No, I would not leave this.
No,
well, I blasted Andy when he benched Alex Smith for Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
That take hasn't aged well. No, it hasn't.
Did you burn that tape?
No, Dan plays it back just about every single day.
He's tried.
Yeah, okay.
So he can throw it in my face. Were you laughing like the first 2 weeks of the season when people were saying, Kelsey, he's done, he's not focused? And I warned Travis that stuff was coming. Were you worried about that? Were you laughing at that?
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't hear it. I don't feel like I don't feel that. I'm not. Listen, I'm not flipping through the phone trying to figure all that stuff out. So I wasn't aware of it. Every once in a while you might hear something, but we don't worry about Travis.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Listen, Travis is there's some guys in all of these professional sports that when you're going to need them the most, they're going to show up.
Yes.
And that's Travis.
And he's there.
Yeah.
That lateral play though, is that something that's worked on every single day?
I think I don't normally see. He does it.
He's always looking.
He plays around with it in practice.
Yes.
You'll see him do it all the time. It's not like it hasn't been rehearsed before.
Right.
And I don't think it shocks his teammates when he's looking to do that. But the thing about that is you have to have extreme self-confidence, and that's what Travis has to do something like that. And fortunately for us, it worked.
Well, you also have to beat Travis Kelce, right? Yeah. Like Xavier Worthy does that first year. You're like, let's hold on to that ball a little bit.
Yeah, you might want to be careful.
You got to win a little bit first. Yeah.
What does a bye week look like for you? Because I imagine that as a coach, you don't have a ton of free time, right? So like when you have a week off, are you like fighting yourself to not get back to work, or are you able to just disconnect completely?
No, what are we today? Friday. So Wednesday to Friday. What'll happen now is by the time I wake up tomorrow, it'll be okay.
49ers mode.
Yeah, okay.
That's the next week.
Well, and I was watching them last night.
Of course you were.
Help but watch and think, and looking for certain things. But I tried to stay away from writing anything down while I was having dinner over at. I think we were over at Smith and Lewinsky's, and I got to be careful. I can't do I'm trying to spend time with my wife.
Wait, so you're at dinner, Smith and Lewinsky's with your wife. You're watching the game, and you're thinking about pulling out a pen and a pad and taking notes.
I had to be careful, and it was great. They were great over there, those two guys, because the Royals were playing the Yankees, and I wanted to watch both, so I had one TV with the San Francisco game, one TV with the baseball game. I was in heaven.
Your wife was
no, she was great. She's great. Thank God I got a good wife.
Good wife, happy life.
Yeah,
Spags.
exactly.
Oh, man, it's so great. Your relationship with Andy Reid, what makes that? He's such a great. It's funny how it flipped in Philadelphia. He couldn't win the big game, and now he's the guy who all he does is win big games. Yeah. I'm more interested in your relationship with him because he seems, and he's been on with me and Billy and Mike Golick a bunch of times on this show, but he just seems like such a fundamentally decent person.
To the core.
Yeah.
One of the best people, the highest character people you're ever going to meet. And he's just, again, I go back to how consistent, how rock solid he is. I mean, listen, Andy's been through some rough times like we all have. And yet he's always steady. He's always the same guy.
Right.
I think that attribute is huge in a person. I mean, nobody likes to be around moody people or you don't know what you're getting. And with Andy, he's just so steady. And I think people rely on him for a lot of things around the building, outside the building. I mean, you can't even imagine how many people in the business, outside the business, that call Andy for advice. You know, what do you think? And when I left and went to the Giants and I was in St. Louis, I was always calling Andy on the phone and say, "What are you going to do about this?" And because he's that kind of guy,
he's always there to pick up.
Always.
Yeah.
Is that common with other coaches?
In a lot of ways, yes, but Andy's unique in that he's been doing it for so long, and he's just got this unique way about him in terms of never being rattled and seeing things. You know, he can sit back and see big picture better than anybody I know.
You're getting ready for the Niners, Kyle Shanahan. So I know you didn't take notes at dinner. Thankfully, you didn't do that, but I don't want to say something seems a little bit off with that team. But
it didn't look off last night.
No, they looked. But they haven't played you yet, Spags.
Nah, listen, it's going to be a challenge. We're looking. We've got a little ways here. I'm still on my bye week, so I got to be careful.
I know. I'm making you take out the notepad though right now.
Yeah. I'll be when I walk out of here. I'll be jotting things down. You'll probably give me couple of.
I will. Can I? Can I do
Sure,
that?
Why not?
Can I tell you what I see on the tape?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a team that gives you more trouble than others?
The Bengals, I think.
The Bengals have been tough. Yeah, that's a good football team. I mean, they're all tough. Listen, everybody plays us tough. I mean,
you get everyone's best shot.
I think so.
Yes.
And to the other team's credit, and it's a challenge for us. Our guys to this point have done a good job with it. But we got a long way to go. It's this season. You know, there's going to be ups and downs in every season. We've been fortunate in the 5 games we've played, but when it does get rough, we got to get rougher. You know, and step up. We'll see what happens.
The last 2 years, I've questioned whether or not your team is going to win the Super Bowl, and you have won the Super Bowl both those years. Would you like me to start doing that again? I mean,
if whatever you did the last 2 years, do the same.
I said something's off in Kansas City. They're not right. They're the team I would want to face in the playoffs. I said that before the playoffs last year, and then you guys went on an historic run because Patrick woke up one day and told his wife, "Hey, I feel like winning the Super Bowl." I mean, it's ridiculous that he can do that.
Yeah, let's keep. I want you to stay consistent, Stu. Guys, don't change.
Okay, all right. The Chiefs. There's something off.
There you go.
There's something off in Kansas City. Quickly, and we appreciate the time. What was the order at Smith and Walensky's last night?
What do we have? They have a great burger there. I think we got a.
You want burger, huh?
Yeah, we did because it's good. I don't usually get a burger, but they have.
You're in Kansas City.
I know.
Spags.
I know, but I
Okay.
stay away from that. I get the high cholesterol. I got all kinds of issues I got to deal with.
He's in great shape, Billy. Is he not? Look at him.
Stay away from it. But it was great. William, the bartender, is a good friend of ours. He's great.
Yeah.
And we walk right over this. Listen, this area is terrific. We love coming down.
Yeah.
We'll be here at some point. You know, when we get done with when my wife makes
like the rest of us, you're retired down here.
Exactly.
Maybe it gets too cold in Kansas City. Come coach down here.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
Kansas City's like 70 degrees right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but
Actually,
the
it's
winters are
beautiful.
brutal. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to be there in the winter.
Yeah.
It's like negative 30 in your first playoff game last year.
I'll tell you what, that was tough.
Yeah.
And I had been in that championship game we played with the Giants against the Green Bay. In Green Bay was cold.
Yeah.
But that
Was that the one where Coughlin lost his mind?
Yeah. Well, he was really red.
The kicker,
his
the
face
kicker
was going to fall off.
That was a great day, but it was cold.
How do you
That
stay
game-
warm on the sideline? Because the players, once they go out there, the adrenaline's
They're moving
rushing.
a little bit, yeah.
They can stay warm.
Now we got the heaters over there. I mean, now they do a good job with stuff on the sideline, but bundle up, man. I was cold. I don't normally wear a stocking hat, but I had to wear one for that game because those ears.
Tua said it's the coldest weather he's ever like. But obviously he's from Hawaii. He plays in Miami. Like
Who's that?
Tua said he never wants to go back there again.
Yeah.
It was cold that day. It was cold for everybody. I mean, it was hard for all I guess.
Are you surprised that Belichick is not coaching right? Like no team wanted Bill Belichick in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, look at best coach ever in the history of football, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if he wants to do it again, he'll have his opportunities. But A lot of respect for him.
So if you want to, and we'll leave you on this note, I want you to get back to your wife. Because I'm sensing she might want you back here.
A little time.
Yeah, right, a little time. But before you retire down in Florida, there's a stop you have to make. You know this, right? So I'm just thinking, like, most people go New York and then they move down to Florida. And so, feel free to stop in New York if you, after the season, because there's a head coaching vacancy there.
Yeah, we're going to worry about the Chiefs right now.
You want him to go up to New York and then come down to Florida?
I want Spags to be the head coach at New York.
Yeah,
spend some time in New York.
Because
you can't move to Florida until.
But if you actually liked and cared about Spags,
I would tell
you
him
wouldn't
to never
want him to
take
go
that
to the
job.
Jets. Exactly right.
Spags, take the job, please. I love you.
You guys are beautiful.
He doesn't want to comment on someone else's job.
No.
He won't do it.
Good move.
He's a man of honor. He won't do that. You don't talk about someone else's job. Spags, we appreciate it. 5-0. I would say that you guys are going to go undefeated this year, but that would go against what I've said the last 2 years.
Yeah,
so I'm going to say, hey, I think something's off in Kansas City.
Okay,
Spags,
good.
say it with me.
I would have been. No, that's your. I got to let you say your words. You say your words.
We appreciate it.
You can't get me to do that. You guys are the best. Thank you.
All right, get back to your wife.
Promises to be a month of tricks, treats, and of course, touchdowns. And DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is the #1 place to bet touchdowns. New to DraftKings? Try betting on something simple, like a player to score a touchdown. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Here's a reason for new customers to do a touchdown dance of their own. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code LAF. That's code LAF for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. Crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/FTBall.
And we're back.
We are back.
Yeah.
Spags is gone, but we're back.
We're here.
Yeah. He was great.
I love that he has a waiter when he goes to Smith & Walensky. Like, he has a guy.
I love that he is spending quality time with his wife, and he sees the 49ers game on the television, and that's the team they play this coming week.
Yeah.
And he is tempted to take out a notepad and write down notes about what Brock Purdy is doing on offense.
I can't be convinced that he didn't go to the bathroom and do that. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. He goes like 4 or 5 times, comes back.
Calls Andy Reid.
What's that on your hands?
Right. Hey, Andy, I saw this.
Yeah. You're fascinated with Taylor turning down NFL jobs that were not offered to him?
Yes.
I didn't understand it, and he started going down a path where he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not attaching myself to that coach. That coach is on the way out, and then I'm going to go too." And I'm like, "This isn't real life, Taylor.
Right.
This isn't fantasy.
Right. We're just you
want a
QCC job or not?"
Yeah, exactly. He's like, "No, I'm not going to go to Jacksonville. Doug Peterson's on the way out." He actually.
That doesn't mean you get fired if you're the QCC.
Well, you probably.
Yeah, but maybe you're good at being the quality control coach, and Doug Peterson's not good at being a coach.
He told Spags, he goes, "Doug Peterson on the way out."
Spags would never hire Taylor.
Spags just kind of was like, "Okay, what's wrong with you?" Anyways, see you Friday.
Yes, special edition of God Bless Football on a Wednesday with Spags.
Decisions.
Wait a minute. Are you still looking for cars on Carvana?
Yeah, decisions.
When I used Carvana, I found the exact car I was looking for in minutes. Bought it on the spot.
Electric or full diesel? Decisions.
Come on, you've been at it for weeks. Just buy it already.
You're right. Crossover it is. Decisions decided.
Whether you know exactly what you want or like to take your time, buy your car the convenient way with Carvana.
Stugotz here. Having a quality home security system in your home is so important. You want to have peace of mind when you're away, and of course you want to protect your family and your valuables. That's why I've had Simply Safe in my home for 7 years now. I swear by him. I want you to have the same peace of mind I and so many listeners experience every day, which is why I partnered with Simply Safe to offer listeners 50% off a new system. Just visit simplysafe.com/GBF to claim it. Old school security systems only act once someone is already inside your home. Simply Safe is changing that with its new Active Guard outside protection, which prevents crime before it happens. With Active Guard, live monitoring agents keep watch outside your home. If anyone is loitering or behaving suspiciously, the live guards can see them, speak to them, activate loud sirens and spotlights to scare them off, and even request urgent police dispatch, all before they even have the chance to kick in a door or window. Right now, listeners will get 50% off any new Simply Safe system. Just visit simplysafe.com/GBF to claim this offer. It's for a limited time only, so be sure to order today. That's simplysafe.com/GBF. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Freedom and flexibility. That's what you want in a healthcare plan. And with Humana's Medicare Advantage PPO plans, you can see any doctor in the country who accepts Medicare, including specialists, with no referrals needed. Plus, you can go in and out of network for the same copay for doctor's visits. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.